Hey guys, how's it going? J-Wolf here, or Archangel. Welcome to a new podcast series that I'm doing with my boy, Cruzando.
What is up?
So, today we're going to be talking about a lot of gaming news and other things. That is Cruzando's dog in the background, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, you can introduce yourself, Cruzando, if you would like to, like what your channel's about. I'm sure they know, but...
Yes. What's up? I'm Cruz. My channel is centered mostly around retro gaming and news that deals with like either retro gaming or something in the same niche. I also have a character called Cruzando that I use to over-exaggerate and make up random stuff. You may know that from the Jak 4 series.
Yes. Everybody should know that. Okay. But yeah, me, if you guys don't know, I do a lot of gaming videos. I'm actually doing this series, the No Commentary series. I do that probably every week, and I am now doing this podcast series, so hopefully every Friday we will have something like this every Friday. But I guess we will talk about our main topics.
Yeah. So what have you been playing this week, Josh?
I don't know. What about you?
I've been playing a lot of Horizon Chase Turbo. I started another playthrough of Sonic Forces.
Nice. I've mainly, because I've just been like playing Jak and Daxter and testing all those things that we're going to be talking about. And I've also been playing, Black Ops 4, I always play that, and Fortnite with you guys, so that's all I've been playing, really.
Got quite a many hours in Fortnite. Anything you're looking forward to that's coming out relatively soon, over the next week, until the next time we meet?
Well, yes, actually, I am getting a new PC, so you guys will be seeing a big difference in my video quality, hopefully, and that will be a lot better. So I'll be able to stream. I'm probably going to start streaming more often. So that's a big thing that I bought. I've pretty much got my whole life savings set out for that. But, yeah. So that's something that's coming, and I know, you've got a game coming actually today.
Yes.
Of this being posted. Technically.
Yeah, technically. We're recording on a Thursday. The game comes out tonight. So technically it counts regardless. But Sekiro Collector's Edition with the sword and statue. I'll be doing an unboxing of that.
Yes. I can't wait to see that. So, yeah, that's... so we're going to probably get into the news. So what are our main headlines, I guess?
Well, today we have about 10 different headlines, but first, let's kick it off with the roots. There's been quite a bit of Jak and Daxter news over the last week and a half. First, we have the updates, and I honestly think this is the one time everybody in the Jak and Daxter community agrees on the same thing.
Very true, yep.
I
made a whole video. It's so bad.
Yeah, they're god-awful. I remember when it first happened, I watched Boomer stream it too. He went on for like 4 hours. There's just so much stuff missing that shouldn't, or not missing, but things that have been patched that shouldn't have been patched.
Yes, dude, I want to make a disclaimer. I think there was another update for the North American version, and I was actually able to test out some of the speedrun glitches that I said were not, or that they fixed, I guess, that they ruined. They're actually not, you can actually do them now, so that's a good thing. Yeah.
To be fair, I've not gotten a chance to play through and test it out myself yet. I've been busy working on a side project, so I can't say for sure if I'm feeling these effects, but I'm pretty sure I will when I do try it. It's just a bad situation. I blame Sean Layden and Jim Ryan, as most people who know me probably would have guessed, but it's just one of those things. But on happier Jak news, or not so happier Jak news, Limited Run Games is sending random emails having people think that their stuff is shipping when it didn't ship.
Yep, that's another thing. Yeah, I actually got an email. I might actually pull up that, and it said that they were ready to ship, and I'm not sure what that means, so hopefully that's something, but...
Yeah, I still haven't got the email. I'm still just waiting for Jak 3. I commented on one of their Twitter posts, and somebody commented back at me and said that they're coming next month. I don't know if that's just another hopeful fan, or if it's someone who actually has information.
Yeah, hopefully someone will, maybe we should just start tweeting at Limited Run Games. Maybe they'll give us some sort of information, like what's the holdup, I guess.
Hashtag Jak 3 now.
Yeah.
Everyone get that trending. All 12 Jak fans.
Definitely. Yeah, and another random thing I wanted to mention, Boomer's been kind of booming in his subscribers. He's actually
Literally.
surpassed me. And yeah, he's got, I think at this point, as this recording, he has like 3,200 almost. So that's pretty good.
Wow. Yeah. He's about to be the biggest Jak tuber. My reign was coming to an end.
Sadly, but yes.
Well, technically my reign came to an end back in like August, because I don't really do Jak anymore. I talk about it here and there, but that's about it.
It's true. Yeah, so let me just make sure I pull up the headlines just so we can see exactly, because I actually moved it.
Alright.
Okay. So, yeah, what do you think about all this, like, in general, like, what they're doing to the Jak community?
I think they're trying to finish us off. I think those of us who have held hope out and hoping for the best, we're like, our Achilles heel was hit back in 2011 when they canceled Jak 4. And now, this is the final straw. We're about to be beheaded, and that's just going to be it. And Jak will be lost to the hands of time, or sands of time, or whatever it is. And we'll just not see Jak again forever until someone buys it.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's sad, man. Like I said, the main thing I'm hopeful for is them to at some point make a remaster or remake, which I don't know will ever happen, but hopefully it will. And we know that there was that news that I posted and Cruzano posted about possibly Nintendo bought them, but we're not sure exactly who did that, so we'll have to see what IP they actually got.
But do you know what is getting a second life?
What is that?
Yakuza 5 Ryogagatoku Go. It is getting its full PlayStation 4 release on June the 20th, 2019. You can pre-order it from PlayAsia right now. It's actually cheaper than Yakuza 3 and 4. When Yakuza 3 launched, it was $60. When Yakuza 4 launched, it was $50. But Yakuza 5, the remake or the remaster, however you want to call it, it is a full $40. And contrary to the PlayStation 3 version, this one is totally physical. It is not digital only. It is not stream only. And you know what? I like that. There is a disclaimer though. It is fully in Japanese, so if you are not at least able to read it or understand it decently, I don't suggest buying it yet. Wait and see if they're going to do a American release. I don't think they are, because it's been almost a year of these remakes coming out and they still haven't done it. But there's always hope.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. And we got some news about the Yakuza and a certain someone in the Yakuza as one of the main characters. So if you want
Pierre Taki. Pierre Taki. That's actually not even his real name. That's just what he calls himself because no one can pronounce his real name. But yeah, he got arrested for cocaine, which is affecting the cells of Judge Eyes, as it's known in Japan, and Kingdom Hearts. This is kind of old news, kind of new news. It came out about 2 weeks ago at this point. Or actually a week and a half ago at this point, really. But Judgment is completely pulled off the shelves in Japan. It is not being produced via retail, and it is not being produced via digital download anymore, because Pierre Taki, not only does he play a main character in Judge Eyes, but he also voiced the character, and obviously since he plays the character, his face and body and likeness is in it, and Japan has a rule when it comes to this kind of stuff, that if it's something related to a video game, and your actors get in trouble for drugs or alcohol, then they're not allowed to sell that for fear that it will encourage people to, do the drugs or drink the alcohol. It's quite odd, but it's not only affecting Judgment in Japan, it's also affecting Kingdom Hearts 3 to a lesser degree. Kingdom Hearts 3 in Japan, for Olaf, Pierre Taki plays that character. So they're going to be revoicing and recreating those segments of Kingdom Hearts 3 in Japan, which could be fortunate or unfortunate, it depends how you look at it. But the worst side effect of this is that Judgment may be canceled for an American release. I've already played it in Japanese. I know the story. It was okay. I enjoyed the game, so this doesn't affect me. But for most people, it is going to severely affect it, because most people aren't going to be able to be out here and learn Japanese quick enough to actually enjoy this game before they no longer sell it on PlayAsia or on the Sega shop. So that is going to bring a huge damper to the rising popularity of Yakuza, actually. This is the first generation that people have actually wanted to play the series, and something like this may kill the momentum.
Yep. That's some crazy news, man. Like, I remember whenever you found that out, and I was just like, wait, what? So that was a big news story from last week. But yeah, if you guys haven't heard it, it's insane.
It's quite unfortunate. You know what else is more and more unfortunate?
What's that?
The life of your PS4 controller or Xbox gamepad. You want to know why?
What's that?
Kingdom Hearts 3 is getting a critical mode coming very soon. It's time to rage all over again. I still haven't played the game, so I'm going to play it on easy. But still, it is time for everyone to do critical mode, spend 12,000 hours trying to finish the game, and break several controllers.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, me personally, I haven't even finished Kingdom Hearts 3. But yeah, I'm guessing that's going to be a big thing. Probably going to be very annoying.
It really will be. But going away from Kingdom Hearts being created in the exact same engine, we have the Spyro Reignited trilogy. There was recently a massive update for the Spyro Reignited trilogy, which featured quote-unquote bug fixes and subtitles. But do you know what the problem with that is?
I actually do, but you tell them.
Every time they fix one bug, 10 more pops up. The subtitles are hideous. They could not have made them even worse if they even tried to do so. Half the times, it doesn't even match up with what the characters are saying.
Yeah, it's insane. I did notice, and the even more crazy is that if you notice, whenever you first got Spyro, it was around 60-something gigabytes on PlayStation 4.
I got it on Xbox One, and it was about 44 gigabytes.
Right. I think the PlayStation 4 version was around 60, but now it's 30. Let me actually look because I'm on my PlayStation right now. It is at, as I pull it up, 36 gigabytes. So that was crazy. I was like, wait, what? I just noticed that. I was like, dang, the games are much smaller, and that's because they kind of condense the textures, and you could talk about that more if you want to.
Yeah, they compressed the textures, and they compressed a lot of the pre-rendered videos. So I don't know if pre-rendered is the right word, but there were some cutscenes in the game that was actually just a video and not being played out in real time. So they compressed those. They compressed them from 1080 something to probably 900 or 720. I honestly don't know because I didn't count every single pixel. But they compressed the video files, they compressed the audio, and they compressed the textures. So you may notice the game looks a little bit worse. But they made a smaller file, which may be for the upcoming Nintendo Switch release of Spyro Reignited Trilogy. It's not been confirmed, but it's been rumored for quite a long time. So if they are compressing this game down, and they're going to try to get it to fit on one card or something, then I understand why they're doing this. They're just going to make it run at least a little bit better in frame rate across the board. But with every update comes more problems. They managed to add multiple more bugs. There were walls that were broken that are now even more broken than they were before.
Yeah, and I did notice there was a few good things. I actually kind of did notice that the games did run actually a little bit better, actually, was one thing that I actually noticed, even though they did do all that stuff with the file. And they did add a mode that you can turn off motion blur. But once you turn that off, you can definitely notice the frame rate is really bad. So I guess that's what they used to cover it up. But there is now a mode that you can turn off motion blur, which is kind of cool, I guess.
I agree. There's still the delay in input, though. And that is still a very big problem for me.
Yeah, that is, yeah. I've noticed that, too.
But do you know what else is going to have a huge input delay that people are not going to be happy about?
Yes, I do, and let's talk about it.
Google Stadia. What we once thought was going to be a new Sega console due to rumors. Sega wasn't there at all. I don't know how those rumors got started after watching the press conference. But it appears we now have everything we need to know about Stadia except for the pricing. To enjoy Stadia, it's going to require a minimum 25 megabytes per second internet download connection speed to enjoy the game. But that comes with an issue because the PlayStation Now requires a minimum of 6 megabytes per second for its connection. But PlayStation Now barely works when you try to stream the games. You will disconnect quite often. And if Google Stadia is going to require 25 megabytes per second, then that's not looking too great for them. Especially since the demonstration they showed on screen was not only delayed, but it was not gameplay. It was not real gameplay. It was just basically a video package being played on arrival, basically. Like a little trigger in a video game. When you walk up to the trigger, something else happens on screen. That's essentially what was happening for the demonstration of the gameplay, which they used Assassin's Creed Odyssey to do.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, to put it in perspective, I think if you want to get a solid 25 megabytes per second, you're probably going to need, like, some really expensive internet, because I know a lot of people that I know that pay a crap ton of money for their internet, and they don't even get that. So that's just gonna be insane, just trying to get that speed.
We have the business package. We're supposed to be getting upwards of around 150 down and 50 up, or maybe it's 50 down and 150 up. It's one of the two ways.
Right.
But we don't get that because we are throttled constantly. And with Google Stadia requiring so much of a bandwidth and so much internet connection, we're about to be getting throttled even more hardcore if people even think about streaming video games through Stadia.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I know it's been a big thing with gaming recently is streaming games. People want the Netflix of gaming, I guess. And, they've done that with PlayStation Now, and they've even kind of done it with Xbox Game Pass, even though you can download all those games, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And one thing about PlayStation Now, they do let you download the PS4 games now, but sadly, I don't think there's gonna be a way, but hopefully at some point you'll be able to download the PS3 games. But that's a big problem. I can't stream games either, because there's just too much of an input lag, and it just doesn't feel right,
Yeah, I agree. The only game I ever tried to stream on PlayStation Now was actually Yakuza 5 around this time last year, leading up to Yakuza 6. I had actually skipped out on Yakuza 6's Japanese release, and I just waited for it to be released over here because they were having a really bad time at that point for importing things. So I did not do that. The reason I did not, like I said, was imports were kind of messed up at that point. I ordered a soccer jersey at one point, which was from Spain, and it took it like a month because of customs and everything to get here. So I didn't want to risk that with that game. So I thought, 2 years isn't too bad. So I waited. So I played Yakuza 5 again because I hadn't played Yakuza 5 since like 2012, so I'd forgotten everything that happened. And it just wouldn't work on PlayStation Now. I would get to the very end. No spoilers, but if you've ever played a Yakuza game, the very end game lasts for like 3 hours, and there's no save spots and there's no checkpoints. So every time PlayStation Now would disconnect, I would have to start at the very beginning all over again, and I did not enjoy that. So I didn't even actually end up finishing Yakuza 5 on PlayStation Now. I just ended up going to my PlayStation 3 and downloading the digital version, which I probably should have done from the beginning.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, I thought it was so cool whenever I first got it. I thought that you could actually download. Whenever it first came out, I don't remember what year it was. It was maybe like 2015 or something. I can't remember. But I remember playing, there was a lot of games on there. There was even Ratchet and Clank games, and there was the whole Sly collection was on there at one point. I think it still is. But I played that, and I just noticed, I was like, man, I cannot play this. Like, it's just, I noticed for me, and I think my internet was even worse back then, but, whenever the input lag from my controller was just terrible. It was just, streaming just does not work for everybody, and it's not good, man, and you just can't rely on it, I guess,
Yeah. There was a few things that they introduced with Stadia that I do think is going to heavily affect the future of gaming, and that's the machine learning. They showed a portion where you could change textures on a fly just by showing a image, just any form of JPEG or PNG, and it'll automatically overwrite the textures of the game through machine learning to make the whole game world look exactly like that image. If you wanted to recreate Jak and Daxter, you could use an image of Jak and Daxter's world, and it would completely use machine learning to recreate that environment. They also showed machine learning to port video games to Stadia much easily. So if they are able to actually do that, then they may implement that for bringing Xbox games to PlayStation, PlayStation to Nintendo, and Nintendo to Xbox. So that would be quite cool. We may actually end up seeing less of a delay in games being released from other regions and from other consoles. For example, going back to Yakuza, they take a while to translate that game. But through machine learning with Google Stadia, if they implement this to every other engine that is, and it's not going to be streamed, they could translate a game and localize it in little to no time thanks to machine learning and AI.
Yeah, and that's pretty crazy. Google always has something crazy. It's kind of crazy just to think that Google's making a console. That's just crazy in itself, you know?
Yeah, but that's the thing I don't like about it. It's actually not going to be any form of machine. You're just going to be able to play it in any Google Chrome browser you want.
Yeah.
And there was something they showed about YouTube with it. Let's say you're streaming, and then I'm just somebody watching your stream, and you're playing a multiplayer game. If you're using it through Google Stadia, then you can click on a button, or I could click on a button to the right, and I could join your lobby for your game. So if you're playing something like, let's just use FIFA for an example. If you're playing FIFA with fans, then we can stand in a line to play you, and we won't have to send you friend requests or anything. We'll just hop right in, and it's going to be crossplay with everything else. So if you're playing a game that's also on Nintendo, then Google Stadia will mimic a Nintendo, and you can play with Nintendo. Same with PlayStation, Xbox, or just regular PC.
That is very cool. That is actually something I did not know. I haven't really heard too much about this console, but that is very, very cool. Not even a console, you know, just the whole thing itself, I guess.
I agree. It's going to be quite interesting to see how they end up rolling this off as it gets closer and closer to launch at the end of this year.
Yeah. Now, speaking about some new stuff, we're talking about some PlayStation news that could be very detrimental to them.
PlayStation exclusives are going to Microsoft platforms. As we all know, PlayStation in the console market this generation, for the entire world, the PlayStation has outsold everything, unless we're talking the Americas or Asia. In Asia, Nintendo is king, and the Americas, Microsoft is king. Total play count for all three of them, Microsoft has just under 1 billion players worldwide, PlayStation has just under 300 million, and Nintendo has just under 700 million worldwide players. And what's one thing PlayStation's extremely known for that everyone wants a PlayStation for?
What's that?
The exclusives.
Definitely.
These are movie video games that you just couldn't get and at that same experience anywhere else until now. Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls are all coming to Microsoft platforms. At first, everyone was extremely shocked, like why would they do that? PlayStation funded those games heavily. Well, Joshua, J-Wolf, Archangel, I did some further research, and it turns out PlayStation is seeing the change of times. Going into the future, we're only going to be having mobile gaming like the Nintendo Switch, or PC gaming, or potentially streaming if that actually works out. And once Tencent bought 20% of Quantum Dreams or Quantum Break, whatever the developer of Detroit Become Human is, they discussed and they decided to start bringing games to PC. This is not going to be the last PlayStation exclusive come to PC. I believe, thanks to PlayStation Now, we could end up seeing games like Uncharted or Horizon Zero Dawn or God of War, Spider-Man even, coming to Microsoft platforms through either shared play as a download or, like I said, through PlayStation Now.
Yeah, and that's crazy. That's like, and I'm thinking about, like yesterday we were having a discussion about this, just me and Cruzando. I was talking about like Spider-Man. Like that's right now, I think Spider-Man is the biggest console seller for PlayStation, And if that happens to that game, oh man, PlayStation, they're not going to look too hot, you know?
No way, Jose. Spider-Man is the most successful PlayStation exclusive of all time. And that's saying a lot when you look at the games that have came out this generation. God of War has won Game of the Year for everywhere, but it was still one of the worst selling major games of last year. It was still one of the worst reviewed major games of last year. Spider-Man is one of the best reviewed and one of the best selling games, not just of PlayStation this generation, of anything. It's the first non-Nintendo game since the 90s to even reach Nintendo levels of sales or Nintendo levels of quality. And that is saying a lot.
It's just, man, if this happens to, like, I mean, I also see a future that pretty much everybody's going to be one, like, every gaming console, maybe it'll just be PC at one point, but every gaming console I feel like will have every game imaginable. I mean, that could be something in the future. I know it's probably a long shot from right now, but knowing that this is happening, and even Xbox is they're putting their software on almost everything, you know?
Yeah, their biggest exclusives this generation, Cuphead, transitioning into our next point, is going to the Nintendo Switch. And just this morning, they announced that that is not the last Xbox exclusive coming to Nintendo Switch this year. And it's even coming with Xbox Live and Xbox Achievements.
Yes. And that's crazy, and then there was a whole story quite a while ago about was it Xbox Game Pass going on to every single console pretty much except for PlayStation, I think.
Pretty much, but when they were asked about it, they said they would be willing to put it on PlayStation. It's just up to PlayStation. I don't see PlayStation allowing it though.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've always like you said, the PlayStation exclusives. That's like the main reason people get PlayStations. That's the reason I would be on PlayStation, because right now, at this point, Xbox One X is pretty much the most powerful console, other than PC, obviously, because PC can do everything, but it's just, because, I mean, at first, I mean, you could talk about the Xbox, like, PS4 sold a lot better at first than Xbox One, and you even had this whole chart that was showing the countries, remember, about how much the Xbox and PS4 and Switch sold?
Yeah. Wait, can you repeat that? I cut out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was talking about how you had a chart that showed all the sales from the United States of the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox One, and the PS4.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Twitter. I think it was PC Magazine that posted that. And that kind of blew me away. I mean, I knew PlayStation was not doing very good in the Americas or Asia. I knew they were pretty much surviving by Europe alone. But to see how badly they're doing in the Americas put in a picture, that was actually quite, I guess, worrying, because you never would think that. I mean, last generation, of course, you pretty much came to expect that because all the exclusives were on the 360. The PlayStation 3 didn't have any standout games besides Metal Gear Solid 4 until the last couple years of its life cycle. And you just came to expect to see Xbox dominate. But with Xbox doing not so great this gen and not having that great exclusives, you just really don't expect them to be still beating PlayStation in the Americas. I guess it's just patriotism. We've became indoctrinated to support our countrymen.
It's great. I've always been a PlayStation person. I've never had anything else, surprisingly. So yeah, I mean, that's surprising to me, and I know a lot of people that have PlayStation, but I also, during the Xbox 360 age and PS3 age, I was a lot of people had Xbox 360, and I was like the only one in my friend group that had a PlayStation, so it was kind of crazy. And I noticed whenever Xbox One came out, a lot of people were switching over to PlayStation. But now I think, I mean, it's a big thing. Xbox is kind of getting back at it. Probably with the Xbox One X is probably a really big seller for them.
Yeah, the whole reason Xbox failed, I mean, you probably already know this, but just in case someone's watching it and don't know, at the time, Xbox had a leader. His name was Maverick. Just as bad as the Mavericks of Logan Paul. But this Maverick, it was a different Maverick. This Maverick wanted the video games on console to be completely digital. They wanted them to be completely DRM, and they wanted you to always be online, and they wanted you to always have your Kinect camera turned on so that they can listen to you and see what you're doing with hand motions, because at the time you could turn on the Xbox with hand motions or voice signals, kind of like Siri. But nobody wanted that. So Maverick crumbled the Xbox platform and PlayStation took off. Thankfully though, Maverick's reign has officially ended last month with the release of Crackdown 3. And now we are fully into the Phil Spencer era. So contrary to PlayStation, where Death Stranding and The Last of Us will be the end of Andrew House, and then after that it's just a straight freefall, for the Xbox at this point, they have grabbed the grapple hook that PlayStation left, and they are climbing up that mountain. And will they reach the same level as PlayStation before the end of this generation? Probably not. But when they come on to next generation, they're definitely going to be at the same playing field, same levels all over again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, that was a whole controversy back in 2013 with all that. I was just crazy about that. I mean, they said they were working, I think they admitted that they were working with the CIA or FBI and stuff. So it was like,
I think I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, I remember everybody was talking about that in my school and everything.
Yeah, but on happier news, Konami is actually making a video game this year.
Very awesome.
This is the first time they've made an actual video game that isn't pachinko or some kind of cash grab since 2011 when Metal Gear Rising came out. That was the last time Konami made a legitimate video game.
That is crazy.
But it's going to be the Konami 50th anniversary. It's coming to Nintendo Switch, Steam, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. It is going to feature every Castlevania game, every Contra game, and a bunch of random arcade games.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, honestly.
I'm excited for Castlevania, but I don't know about Contra. I never really enjoyed that. The arcade games will be pretty fun, though.
Yeah, that's what I would be looking forward to the most. I've never been a really big fan of Castlevania or Contra, so I don't know.
Yeah, I just hope it's not a full $60 game. I hope they launch it at $30 or $40, because I don't want to pay $60 for all these games.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. I would say that too. That's probably the best move if they do that.
Yeah. So, circling back around to Microsoft, remember back at the Game Awards, they not only announced that they had bought Obsidian, but they announced their brand new RPG, Outer Lands. Yes. Which was going to be No Man's Sky except good, Fallout 76 except workable.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that game is going to be Epic exclusive. Epic Games Launcher exclusive, if I might add. Nobody's happy about it. If you go through Obsidian's Twitter page, it's just people complaining. All over YouTube, it's people complaining. Nobody is going to purchase this game. There was Metro Exodus that went Epic exclusive. They did say with Metro Exodus, the new one, that it sold 2.5 times better than Steam's for last Metro brand new game at launch. Well, the last brand new Metro game came out at a time when people were still buying all their PC games physically, so that's not a fair comparison.
Yeah. And that's crazy that Epic Game, I mean, yeah, I've never liked Epic Games for their launcher. I mean, everybody knows about Fortnite, but yeah, it's never been really reliable.
Yeah. And I guess now in conclusion, we got some PlayStation news. It's rumored that Watch Dogs is going to be next month's PlayStation Plus game. But in more exciting news, Watch Dogs was also a PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 game. The biggest downfall of the PlayStation this generation is not having backwards compatibility, but there has been yet another patent filed to allow backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 5. Not much information has been put out about this yet, but this patent was filed early this morning.
Yeah, and that's pretty crazy. I'm sure they'll probably talk about that more sooner. I know there's been a lot of patents from PlayStation, but that's a really awesome thing. I'm sure they're going to have PlayStation 4 backwards compatibility for sure. But if they have PS3 at least and maybe PS2, that would be amazing.
It would be quite grand to have that. And I guess now we should wrap it up.
Yeah, so yeah, if you guys did enjoy this, I'm probably gonna have longer episodes on next week and maybe the weeks after that, and I'm planning to do more podcast series like this, maybe talking about other situations like real world situations. So hopefully we're gonna do that too. But yeah, make sure you stay tuned for this podcast every week. We're not sure what we're gonna name it yet. Please leave your comments below what you guys think. Make sure you go check out Cruzando. Links will definitely be in the description. But yeah, this is we're gonna try to do this every week, the news, and I hope you guys did enjoy the news. Please comment what you guys think, and we will definitely be doing this hopefully every single week.
Remember, try not to die, and we will see you next time.
Bye bye.